Do you ever wonder why flight prices are the way that they are? Why you sometimes pay more for shorter flights than for longer ones? Why one day a flight will be really cheap and the next it'll be a lot more expensive? It can sometimes feel like the airlines are trying to game you at every turn on the very flight that you need to buy. It's high time that we lift the veil on airline ticket prices and the secrets that airlines don't want you to know. Let's count down the 7 secrets of how airlines set their prices. Number 7. You're not just paying for the airfare and taxes when you buy an airline ticket. You're paying for a whole lot more. Most people think that when they're buying an airline ticket, they're paying for their usually tiny seat, some taxes, and that's it. Well, wrong. The price you pay for an airline ticket, yes, includes the base fare and taxes, but it also includes airport fees, fuel surcharge fees, a facility charge that you pay for each airport you land in, a segment tax that they charge you for taking off and landing. You actually pay for this 2 times per one-way flight. A security fee for what they charge for you to stand in line to get scanned and searched, service fees, the cost of food, seat selection prices, and baggage fees. Phew! Usually, taxes and fees make up over 20% of the cost of a given ticket. Number 6, it doesn't cost an airline twice as much to fly a passenger twice as far, so you aren't paying for distance. Once a plane is in the air at a cruising altitude, the cost for additional fuel is very low. It takes more fuel to beat the pressure of changes in altitude than it takes to coast. Since flights have to take off and land regardless of the distance that they're flying, the distance isn't as important when it comes to how airline tickets are priced. What does play a big role is competition on airline routes. That explains why a flight from New York's JFK to LA's LAX, with tons of options to choose from, is usually so much cheaper than a flight from New York's JFK to Garden City, Kansas, with just 1 or 2 options. It's all about competition. Number 5, did you know that airlines have more than just first class and economy class tickets? There are many classes of seats on airplanes, and airlines adjust the prices of tickets based on how many seats they've sold. When you look at the seating chart of a plane when you're buying a ticket, you may notice that some of those seats are grayed out. This doesn't necessarily mean that the tickets are unavailable, it just means that the airline is holding them over until the next round of pricing is released. Future pricing on the flight can be more or less expensive than the ticket you're purchasing right now. It all just depends on the demand for the flight. This is a concept that's called peak load pricing, and it's what allows airlines to charge higher prices during in-demand periods and vice versa. Number 4, airlines know which routes people travel more often for leisure and which routes people travel more for business, and they take advantage of that knowledge. The airlines are basically Big Brother. They know everything, including that most people are flying to Houston for work, or that Orlando is usually a leisure destination. They use this knowledge and price tickets accordingly. Leisure routes are usually vacation-based, so airlines will price these tickets higher earlier on, since people are usually going to book their vacations with time to spare. They then lower prices as needed based on demand. They take the opposite approach with business routes. These flights are usually cheaper until the last minute when business travelers tend to book. Number 3, it doesn't end there. The airlines have data on every passenger, which they use to price tickets. Airlines use cookies to track which flights you've searched online in the past. Not that kind of cookie. Which they use to increase the prices that your browser displays as time goes on. They know that you're monitoring certain flight prices for different times and routes. They use super sophisticated software to monitor multiple details about what's going on in the industry at any given moment. They know who's browsing their website so that they can get the maximum price possible at the very moment that you book. Yes, the airlines are watching you, and they're benefiting. Number 2, airlines even continue to profit from already sold out flights. They look at fully booked flights and identify which passengers would be most likely to swap out their current flight for a later one in exchange for a voucher or discount. And then the airline sells that same previously sold seat to someone else at a higher price. Yes, airlines are overselling flights on purpose, and if you're buying a seat on an oversold flight, be prepared to spend a pretty penny. And finally, number 1. Airlines are constantly thinking about how to maximize revenue for the space available, even if it means putting people in uncomfortable situations. We've gone through all of the ways that airlines try to get the highest price they can from customers, and there are a lot of ways. But don't think that the airlines are done. They're constantly thinking of new ways that they can bring in new revenue from a flight. The airline manufacturer Airbus Delta, JetBlue, and so many other airlines use their planes, requests hundreds of patents each year for new airplanes. Those give us a clue as to what the airlines are going to try next. Some patented ideas include hexagonal shapes, in seating arrangements along with futuristic spaceship-like structures. Not to mention, a concept for an airplane that would have people standing. So there you have it, the hard truth about why we're paying what we're paying to fly. It all kind of makes me not even want to fly anymore. Except I did really want to go to Paris this summer. How about you? Weigh in below in the comments section.